What's good, everybody? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with a great episode of Kinganda Connect. And today, we're going to be mesmerized. We have a very, very powerful brother. I'm going to let him introduce himself, but I was in Acacia Mall playing NBA 2K20, and it's this huge guy comes and stops me, and I was about to be like, what? And then I saw how big he was, and I was like, I better listen to what he got to say. And I think I was right in making that decision. We are here with brother Zack Mwekassa, right?
Yeah, Mwekassa.
Bitch, I'm a boss. I'm a boss. Bitch, I'm a boss. I'm a boss. I play the shots.
Mwekassa. Say it again.
Say that again.
Mwekassa.
Mwekassa. There you go.
All right. And brother, you are brilliant. You're a very smart man. You're probably one of the most intelligent people that I've ever met. I only met you twice, and I think I'm pretty smart. But I think your IQ is like 200 or something. We'll find that out. But go ahead and explain to the people who you are, brother.
I'm very honored to be here. Thank you very much for the compliment. My name is Zack Mwekassa. I'm a professional boxer, African heavyweight champion. I am a professional kickboxer, world kickboxing champion.
Burada Zack fena saldırıyor. Kol bolu bayıl. Knockout. İnanılmaz.
For your winner, Zack Mwekassa. Bitch, I'm a boss. I'm a boss. Bitch, I'm
Şimdi
a boss.
kickbox heyecanı sona.
I'm a writer. I'm a philanthropist.
Engineer.
I'm an engineer. There you go. I forgot that. So I'm very happy to be here. I'm an African. I'm a brother. I just see me as a brother. That's who I am. All of that don't mean anything.
And not only is that, he's also an awesome YouTuber that has a channel in French. We'll put the link up below. I mean, almost everything that this brother does turns into something great. Kind of reminds me somewhat of myself. But when we're talking about that day in Acacia Mall, you've been watching this channel.
Yes.
And you never know who's watching you. And you reinforced that with me. And one of the things that you're very, you pay attention to a lot of detail. You're
Absolutely.
a very, very intricate thinker.
Absolutely.
And one of the things, I was African American, and you spent some time in the United States.
Yeah.
And we started talking about the possibility of African Americans coming back to Africans and African Americans understanding one another, and that both cultures need referees.
Absolutely.
That's an amazing thing. Why do you say that?
First of all, greetings to all my African American brothers and all in the diaspora. I do believe that we all interlink forever. We cannot detach that. It's impossible. So we all know there are some negative energy between the two community in some ways. And the negative energy is based on speculations. Okay, it's usually based on somebody say they are this way. But someone told me they don't work hard enough. So with that, we tend to judge one another. It's very easy to judge somebody based on who you are without really understanding who they are. And I do believe that the both community, African and African American community, need referees. Referees are the people that understand the next culture properly, to explain what's really happening. I'm gonna give you an example. I went to the US. I was in America many years ago, and I was living with African American brothers. I went for boxing and stuff. So we went out to have a drink. As we went out to have a drink, we met some of his friends. And one of them looked at me and said, "Oh, you cleaned up." And I felt very offended. I looked at him with my warrior face. Like, who's this guy? Like, does he understand that I can kill him? But then I kept that within my heart. I mean, that's happened like probably 10 years ago. I came back to Africa, and when I was having a chat with you, you explained to me by saying that you cleaned up. It meant actually you looking good.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I stayed with that all this time, 10 years, with not a grudge, but that feeling like, who does he think I am? Like, who does he think he is?
Right. Because in the Congo, it means somebody says clean up, you were dirty before.
Absolutely. So where I come from, when you say you cleaned up, it means, oh, you were dirty, now you're looking good. And that's offensive to who I am. And that's the problem that happens in all levels. Americans look at Africans and they probably judge them based on the experience somebody else had.
Right.
Africans judge African Americans, based on a story told by a certain African that had issues with an African American brother. So just because you've had a problem with one African American, or two, or three, does not mean all African Americans are that way.
Right.
Or just because you've had issues with Africans, or you've heard some funny stories about African, does not mean all Africans are the way you heard. So look at it this way. Whether you stay in Chicago or New York or Seattle, everybody are not the same. You don't get along with everybody. You may live in the same block, but you talk to George, but you don't talk to Jack. Because you're different. So when you come to Africa, you meet somebody that's acting a certain way that you don't like, you don't relate to. It doesn't mean necessarily that everybody think that way. If you meet an African on YouTube that talks negatively about African Americans, does not mean every African think that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why I say we need referees.
Okay.
Both Africans and African American and diaspora in general.
How were you able to come to that conclusion?
I came to that complete conclusion basically because I've got both experience. I've lived in America for many years. I've boxed for many years. I still have to go kick somebody else in a few months. Sorry about that. And being an African, I do understand the difference in cultures. So it's very easy for someone to judge things they don't understand.
Right.
It's very easy. I think when you go to somebody's house, you need to conduct yourself in a certain way in order to be accepted. You don't go impose whatever you are, your mentality, your ways of life. You will become the enemy.
Right.
Exactly. I want to give you another example.
Sure.
If you go through YouTube, you'll find, I was going through YouTube, I found one African American brother traveling to Tanzania.
Okay.
And he was having a good time, apparently. But then he started talking to the diaspora, saying, well, Tanzania is a beautiful country, it's amazing, but guys, just remember that when you get here, sometimes you find people that don't smell good. I was sitting in a taxi, it's not very hygienic. This guy was really not smelling good, and I don't know if it's a cultural thing or not, but hey, just keep that in mind.
Okay.
As an African, I was very offended.
Right.
Because you portraying the whole continent based on your personal experience with one guy.
With one person, yeah.
Are you telling me all Americans smell good? No.
Right.
Should I go out there because I've had an experience with a guy in my gym in Detroit that smells bad, saying that all African Americans smell bad?
No.
Doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
So that should apply in every situation.
Okay.
And people need to understand we were perhaps separated many, many years ago, hundreds of years ago, but we still have something in common.
Right.
That's why we look into each other. Look, Africans look at African American. Africans look at Hollywood movies. Most of them prefer movies where they can find black people.
Why is that?
Because they can find themselves in the story. They can relate to the person. Africans were very happy with Wakanda.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of Africans love Eddie Murphy.
Right.
Wesley Snipes. Because they find themselves being portrayed on the picture.
Let me ask you this. When you were fighting, because I saw some of them left hooks. It reminded me of Tyson a little bit.
Absolutely.
Did you see yourself in African American fighters when you were fighting? Is that what your motivation was also?
Tyson is my hero. He still is. He's the man that's really created my style. My style is based on Mike Tyson's style.
You even kind of built like him.
I studied him every day of my life. So Africans want to be close to African Americans, but we need referees. Meaning, when African Americans decide to come to Africa, when you make videos, be careful with what you say, and that goes both ways. You can start a war with just two stupid people can start a war between two countries because one stupid person say, oh, they think we this way, and the other one say, oh, they think we that way, not taking into consideration that it was that person's opinion, not everybody's. I have a lot of African American friends, and I think the diaspora should feel free and happy to come back to Africa and have a good time. There's a lot of space. There's a lot of things to do. But it has to be done in a certain way.
Let me ask you this, because when I heard the referees and understanding each other, you know, a lot of African Americans are you know, on the continent and trying to figure themselves out and trying to figure out how to be accepted by the local African community. And I know that you've had your own experiences because you were living in South Africa.
Yes.
And at least the myth is that South Africans can be a little hostile towards the other groups that are not from there.
Yes.
But you, sir, you did, I mean, an excellent job of overcoming, you know, you being an African, you being in a foreign place.
Absolutely.
English not your first language because you're, you know, Congolese is French.
Yeah.
But you came to prominence there. How were you able to do that? And maybe for some of the other people to look into repatriate or come to our country, how can they come in and do the same thing that you did?
Look, it's very easy. Wherever you go in life, like my father say, you will find a white rooster. Rooster,
yeah.
A white rooster, the male chicken, the white rooster. Whichever village you go to, you will find a white rooster. That means wherever you go in life, you will find bad people and good people. So it doesn't matter where you are, whether it's in the US or in Africa. So you need to, first of all, connect with people you get along with. People who understand your language. People can direct you and show you things with no funny minds, no backhand ideas.
Okay.
And that's necessary. And that applies everywhere, whether you're in Africa or in the United States. If you want to start a business in the US, you try to find people that are honest.
Right.
People that are hardworking. People you share values with. The same should apply when you're trying to come to Africa. You can't judge everybody based on experience you have with 2 or 3 people. You need to search. I'm into this. Who's into that? I'm a mechanics. Who's into mechanical engineer? Engineering. You find those people, then you select who you feel good with.
Right.
That's how you go about it.
Right.
The struggle is the same, whether you're in the US, leaving Detroit, going to New York, or whether you're leaving Jamaica, coming to Africa, it's the same struggle. Don't be blinded with the story along the lines that Africa is an hostile ground, whatever that is. Listen, I have been discriminated within African communities too. I'm African.
Oh yeah.
So if you are discriminated, you feel discriminated as an African American, you shouldn't feel bad. You shouldn't generalize. You shouldn't say all Africans treat me funny because look, when I go to Tanzania and they feel I'm not local, the price goes up. Just like me. It's not because you're African American. It's just a mentality. It's the colonialist mentality that needs to be broken down. It's not because you're African American. If I sound different, whether I'm African American or French or Ivorian or Nigerian in a different country, the price will go. The price will go up. So feel easy about that. That's the first thing. Culturally, people trying to make as much profit as possible, because I know a lot of African Americans have experienced that. People trying to make as much profit as possible. The bottom line is a lot of Africans, fortunately, think about today. What do I get in today? I want to make the maximum possible gain today. So I see this guy, he looks like he doesn't quite know where he is, so I'm going to take advantage. It's not because they want to kill you. They will probably won't kill you if they had an opportunity. They don't hate you that much. It's just like they see that as an opportunity to make a living.
Yeah.
I know it's not right.
Right. That's true.
But people do it because they feel like, I can feed my children a little bit more.
Right.
It happens to me. It can happen to a Nigerian going to Rwanda. It can happen to a Rwandese going to Nigeria or Gabon. So that's the cultural, that's the way things are.
Right.
You know, and before that changes, of course, it might take time for the mentality to change. It's poverty to some people that are trying to make a living. You know, it's like when a white man comes to Africa, they call him Muzungu. Muzungu, hey, Muzungu. Muzungu means white. But it's never in a bad way. It's never like in Europe or in the USA. When you call somebody by their race, it's racism. It is not racism. By calling you Muzungu, it's like, oh, different. You know, in Africa, basically, in many cultures, people used to call each other by their tribes. Like in the Congo, they will say, Hey, Mungala, how you doing, Mungala? Mungala means you are from Bangala tribe. Like, hey, Mukongo, how you doing, Mukongo? People don't feel bad about that because I'm Mungala, he's Mukongo. There's nothing wrong with that. We leave alone. It's a way to identify who you are. But today, with the Occidental or the Western mentality, when you call someone Muzungu, it's derogatory because that's the way they see it. To them, calling a black person black or that name, that N name, it's derogatory. With us, it has never been that way. It's like, hey, Muganda, how you? It's not the same. So getting back to basics, it's basics. African Americans, the diaspora, the Jamaicans, everybody, we love you. Okay, don't let anybody make you think differently. Most of us love you. We want to have you. We want to share with you. We want to grow together. We've experienced a lot together. So, they want us to be separated so we can stay dominated. The best way to rule over people is to separate them. It's to create animosity. We are different in certain things, but we look alike in much more things. So don't let the small things that makes the diversity separate us.
It's interesting you said that because the first time I came to Uganda, it was like, the roads looked a little bit different. I feel like I've been seeing these people all of my life, even though like I've been removed from Africa. I've never been here until 2017. I was 36 years old at the time. But I was like, man, they're doing the same things that we do back home. It was the same stuff.
Absolutely.
And it's no different. South Africa is no different. It's like, if you're there, it's like, Black America has prepared me for this all my life. There's really not much difference outside of,
exactly,
the certain foods, which our foods are, similar, that we have.
Yes.
And, if you come from Black America, it just almost prepares you for everything on the continent of Africa. It's the same thing.
Absolutely. Look, the difference is perhaps just the tax, which is excessive in the US. Look, we live freely here. I'm sorry, I'm not against tax. I'm just saying a human being should be able to rejoice and to enjoy his money. Right. And that's not really the case in the United States unless you're
Donald Trump.
There you go. Okay? In Africa, we have freedom. We do our things. You can grow your crop. Nobody's gonna come knock at your door. What you doing? No, we free, and that's amazing to have. I know they pushing to try to take that away from us, but we need to stay together. We need to stop the pity-patty stories about you different, I'm different. We're not different. We do certain things differently. Even in the same families, two kids are not the same. You can make twins. Even twins are not the same. They're not identical. They may look alike in their faces, but one may be a priest and the other one is just a crazy person.
Right.
So we need referees, people who understand the United States and people who understand Africa and African mentality.
Let me ask you one last question on this one. Because I didn't know that you had this great, we'll put the channel up here. You get like almost 4 or 5 million views a month on Zack
Mwekassa. Yeah.
In France, you have millions and millions, and which is a niche because there's not a lot. There's more of from what I see, content for Africans that are in the English versus the Francophone.
Yeah.
But man, we're missing so much of you in the English speaking forums, and I'm trying to convince you to start up an English channel.
I'm thinking about that.
Okay.
I think it's a great idea. We have to exchange ideas. We need to grow together. As much as social media has made a lot of negative things, negative seeds, people sit together, cannot communicate.
Right.
You have friends coming over to your house. You sit around the table, and everybody's on their phone.
Yeah.
They don't pay attention to each other. As much we may use social media to really communicate with people far ahead. And I believe that we need to speak out. We need to exchange ideas. We need to talk to one another. And stop looking within you, just inside of you. There are people out there that look like you, that go through the same struggles as you. People want the same thing as you. They want the same future as you. People may love you, may give you space, may contribute to your ideas. We need to come together and build that. And my channel, I never really wanted to create a channel. It all started when I was sharing some of my motivational stuff with my fans, my boxing and kickboxing fans, and I felt that a lot of people loved it on Facebook. They came asking for friend request on my Facebook page, but then I couldn't accept everybody. Then I had to open a page.
Right. Because you had so many friend requests. Yeah,
I've got to open a page and share my ideas since people, seem to really like it. Yeah, so we all go through struggles. We need to talk about life. We need to discuss things. We need that. Joe Rogan does it for his community.
Yeah,
we've got to do it. We got to bring people together.
Right.
We need to talk about things that are unspoken about. Like this subject, when you go, black people don't greet each other.
No.
And that's universal. It's not just in the US. I'm sorry. When I learned that in the United States, I was like, whoa, this is the same syndrome. It's the same demons.
Yeah.
We don't greet each other. We don't say hello to one another.
Right.
We most of the time see one another as competition instead of potential partners.
Right.
Potential friends.
Right.
Potential bridge to new world, to new ideas, to new constructions. We should be able to do that like other communities.
Yeah.
Come together and discuss. Let me tell you something. You will never see like whatever happened to South Africa happen to other communities where one person is being harassed, aggressed, beaten while others are looking. Never happens. Only within our communities.
That's true.
We should be able to defend one another.
Yep.
And ask later what actually happened.
I feel that. That's a bit on code.
You first defend them with whatever you have.
Right.
We need to bring down this wall that separates us. The wall of distinction, of accent, of whatever that is. Everybody's got an accent. Everybody's got an accent. Some people have a French accent. Some people have Luganda accent. It doesn't change who you are inside.
Right.
Whoever you are inside is probably very closer than you who are watching than whoever you thinking he is.
Right.
So we face the same difficulties, the same challenges. Let's talk. Find a friend from Africa, man. Come on. Send a friend request. Say, hey, hi, how you doing? My name is Max. I'm from Detroit. I just want to make friends.
Yeah, that's what you did with me, man. You just walked up to me like, hey, what's going on?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest, you were very reluctant. You didn't want to engage. First of all, you were like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
I could see that. I stayed around you for about 2 minutes before you started really engaging.
Yeah. Because I was like, wait, what? Like, I didn't know if you was crazy or whatever. Because I'm like, in American culture, somebody just come up to you, a huge guy. I'm like, man, who's this guy, man? It's the police or something. But when I realized that, okay.
But I completely understand.
Yeah.
People try to protect themselves from being hurt, from rejection. People try to protect themselves from surprises, bad surprises. The thing is, as much as you find negative people, bad people, there are good people out there.
Yeah.
So don't stop yourself just because you've had a bad experience before. Give life a chance. People win the lotto or the whatever you call it.
Lottery.
The lottery.
Yeah.
How do they do it? They play. I'm not saying you should go waste on your money. I'm just saying you've got to give yourself a chance to find out what the world has to offer.
Okay.
Reach out to somebody, send an email, friend request on Instagram. I think it's easier.
Right.
Hey, how you doing? My name is George. I'm from Chicago. I just want to be friends.
Right.
Okay. I know it's creepy.
Yeah.
Guess what? It has become creepy with time. It was never creepy before. Before people used to get along with one another. Hey, how you doing? Hey, good morning.
Yeah.
With time, with the media, it became creepy. Like, why is he greeting me?
Right.
No, I should greet you. You're a human being.
Right.
Wherever I come from, you're supposed to greet people.
Right.
And the reason why I said I love Ghana is because Ghana has kept that mentality. When I was in Ghana, I saw some lady say, hello, good afternoon. I'm like, good afternoon. Then I saw her again. Good evening. I'm like, is it me she's talking to? Like, good evening. Then the next morning she said, good morning. I'm like, no, this girl must be into me. Then the guy next to me started laughing. Said, oh no, this is the mentality. People greet each other.
Oh.
It means I see you as a human being. I acknowledge your presence.
Uh-huh.
And I was mesmerized by that.
Mm-hmm.
We don't communicate enough.
Mm-hmm.
You will always find people you don't connect with. That's
Right.
just the way life is.
Right, right.
But you cannot judge a community based on experience you have had with 1 or 2 or 3 people or 10 people.
Right.
Africa have billions of human beings.
Yes.
54 countries.
Right.
Each country has 50 on average tribes. Congo has 250 tribes.
250 tribes.
Yes.
Jeez.
People are diverse. They're different. Some are tall, some are short, some are stocky, some are thin. You cannot judge everybody on the same book.
Same, yeah, Buck, yeah.
You need to try.
Right.
We're here.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't let you leave
Look,
without getting you on the show.
If I never came to you that day, this wouldn't be.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
If you've been inspired, then this wouldn't be. If I just say, oh, that's the guy from YouTube.
Right.
I made the first step. Don't be afraid of rejection. It's just part of life.
Right.
Things don't always work.
Right.
Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you lose. Sometimes you don't gain, but it's part of life. You don't give up just because you lost. Let me tell you a story. In your mother's womb, you had a race against 100 million opponents, adversaries, and you won that race.
Right.
To be the baby you were and the man or the woman you are today.
Yeah.
Just take a moment to grasp what that means. 100 million adversaries. You won the race to be the baby. And you come into this world pity-partying, crying over, oh, things are bad. Oh, this is... No, you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Life is a fight. It's a struggle. If it doesn't work with Mr. A, you try Mr. B or C or maybe D.
Mm-hmm.
That's just part of life.
So let me do this. We're going to shoot another one. And I do thank you. Since I've met you in the short time, even in that time, my NBA 2K game, I love my NBA. I'm not that good. Mm-hmm. But I realized, when you told me you're a fighter, but I've had professors that haven't been able to break down some of the things that you've had. You have a very academic approach to a lot of things. You're a very, very bright man. I think this is something that the Pan African community has been getting in French. We need a lot more of this in English. And it goes to show me that on the continent of Africa, and you were also stuck here in Uganda.
Yes.
But it just goes to show how many people, good people that I've met in Africa. And my mother, who was a little reluctant because, the beefs that may have happened. Yep. When I explained to her, hey, we can't judge everybody based off that. And she was actually able to meet people from Uganda in California now. It's changed her whole mentality. So I thank you, because you don't have to come in and talk to the diaspora because you're good. You're already a very successful man. But it just goes to show that you have a heart for the whole community. And a lot of brothers and sisters need to hear this, that, hey, in Africa, there's a lot of love. There's a lot of support. There are people that you can work with.
Yeah.
I was talking to my buddy Cedric Singleton, who owns Black Market Records. And he says he's got more accomplished done in Uganda in the last year than he has done in California because there's so many good people that you can work with here.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate you for coming on and explaining that, is that most people worry about what they hear and not what they experience.
Yes.
And we need to be more serious about our experiences.
Absolutely.
It's more of a myth a lot of times than the truth.
It's more of a myth. Then I wanted to say that what did I want to say? Okay, I think something went. You gone.
No.
Come back. I wanted to say something very, very important. I believe that we need to break the myth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we were told that African Americans are lazy.
Mm-hmm.
They don't work.
Mm-hmm.
They just do drugs.
Mm-hmm.
They shoot one another.
Mm-hmm.
They make babies and run away.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody told us that. That's the image, the portrayal of African Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Most Africans believe African Americans don't marry.
Mm-hmm.
African Americans don't study. African Americans want grant from the government. African Americans are lazy, which is not true.
Not true.
Okay. When you go with that mentality, you go like, okay, so I'm going to the US. I'm not going to be lazy. I'm not going to shoot anybody. I'm not getting into a gang. I'm going to try to work hard and be somebody with my life. African Americans were told things about Africans They come over here, they not very clean, they not very steady, they not very refined. They think they better than you. And that's created a very toxic environment where you don't even know how to engage with one another.
Right.
It's a lie.
It's a lie, yeah.
African Americans are not all lazy. They're not all gun owners or don't shoot people. They don't all belong to gangs.
Right.
Or anything like that. The same for Africans. They don't all stink.
Right.
Okay? Or crazy or ride on horses or elephants. It's not the truth.
Right.
That's why we need referees.
Referees, yeah.
And I hope this video will help a lot of people to sort of jump from that boat of ignorance.
Right.
Okay? Wherever you go in the world, you will find ignorant people.
Right.
Give yourself a chance to meet good people. That's how life is.
And when South Africa allows Americans to travel back to South Africa, you're in Joburg now, huh?
I'm in Joburg, yeah, mostly.
So I'm gonna come down there, and anybody mess with me, I'm gonna tell you, champ gonna knock you out. All right, it's my homeboy right here. So, but I'm definitely gonna be down there, brother. I thank you. Like I said, you're very, very, very, very bright man. I really wish your motivation channel, which you have millions of subscribers over there. I didn't even know that he had a million subscribers, but he's a humble person, so you have to really dig to get information. But definitely, we'll put the Instagram. You can follow him there. We'll put the YouTube page. Hopefully, we'll have one more episode we can do for you, brothers and sisters, before he goes back to Joburg. And any last words you want to tell the people out there?
I just want to say thank you very much for allowing us to speak to you. And like I said again, we love you. We want to be a community, but we all have to do something about it. We all have to move forward. You have something to contribute to this community. If you feel like Africa's home, then nobody's entitled to tell you the contrary or the opposite. Okay, do your own research. Africa is a huge continent with 54 countries. If it doesn't work in Uganda, it may work in Tanzania for you. If it doesn't work in Tanzania, maybe Ghana is your place. So you go or do your research and find out where you feel at ease. Go out there, contact people, reach out to people, talk to people. Be very careful. Yeah, there are some people that are scams. You find them everywhere. Just trying to diverse your communication with different people and engage yourself if that's what you want to do. All
right. So guys, we're gonna come back with one more. Appreciate you guys. Subscribe, hit the bell. All this contact information is in the first comment pinned to the top. It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson. And always remember, keep it real. King Ghana forever. I'm out.